Back in 2017, a young whippersnapper by the name of Charlie Carrel played in the WSOP main event and made a goddamn deep run. He, and by he I mean I don't want to do the third person thing for too long, it's kind of lame, managed to come 88th, and there was a whole day, or half a day actually, where I managed to spend on the feature table and use so many live reads and so much speech play, and this hand is one in particular. And if you're not using live reads and speech play, especially speech play, it's so easy to do, you're leaving money on the table. Let's see how this one goes down. So we start by 3-betting the queen 7 off. I really was just hammering this guy. I was 3-betting 7-3. I was 3-betting trash. Most of them don't even make the TV because they'll go into outer tables and things like that. But I was just getting 3-bet through, 3-bet through, 3-bet through. And it felt like, okay, eventually he's going to fight back, which he did. But in this circumstance, it just wasn't enough. Let's see what happens.
Picking on you. I know you're tilted about that hand, so I'm going after you because I know you don't want to lose 2 big ones in a row.
That might make me fold, you saying that.
Why?
So already I'm speaking and I'm saying, I know you're tilted about that hand because I didn't want him to 4-bet. Now, the main thing you need to understand about live poker is that nobody wants to be embarrassed, especially in front of 8 other dudes at a table, especially on a TV table. Now, imagine he's sitting there with something like 7-5 suited, king 10 offsuit that he might consider 4-bet bluffing against this maniac. Well, now suddenly he might not want to do that because who wants to be the person that 4-bets and has to fold to a guy that's talking, who obviously has aces, he's talking so much. And as much as it sounds kind of unnuanced, it really is that much. The psychology of getting someone in someone's head is just making sure that they feel like if they do what you don't want them to do, then they'll feel stupid. Replay that sentence a couple of times if that didn't make sense, but I guarantee it is probably the #1 thing that you have to understand about live poker.
I'm gonna donate to you.
You're done with folding?
You seem like a good guy.
I'm a great guy.
65.
The card mechanic against the card felon. Great guy. Ha!
104,000 more for the call. Snuffer flops aces up on the paired board. He checks it.
I just don't even remember how much I made it pre-flop. All right, so I'm gonna bet small because I think you either have it or you don't. So I can just
small bet.
80.
Now again, you'll see that I'm speaking as I'm betting small on this flop. The reason that I want to keep speaking here is because if he's got an ace, I don't want him to check raise. If he's got a bluff, I don't want him to check raise. And again, nobody wants to bluff against the guy that so obviously has it because he's talking. So I'm saying nice hand, I'm saying I'm gonna do this, I'm saying I'm gonna do that. And the most beautiful thing about it is he was talking back to me. Now, if you want to learn more about the psychology of poker and exploitative poker, you can join Elite University. And in fact, in 1 month's time, on May the 1st, the prices of Elite University are gonna go up. So if you join now, it's your last chance to get it at the lowest price it's ever gonna be monthly, and it will stay at that price if you join before May the 1st. Now, I already know from the way that he's talking that he doesn't have a 5. I already know he hasn't flopped quads or a boat. So this is already brilliant information for me to utilize on later streets.
So I can just
small bet.
80.
You see, that might be just to get me sucked in there.
Sometimes you gotta suck them in.
A pretty gay sentence that just came out of Charlie's mouth. I don't know if you can say that sentence and dress like that, my friend.
I guess I'll go with it.
Nice hand.
So something I would say just about the way that he called it, it really feels like he didn't have too much of a decision. I didn't feel like he was just going to be calling the pocket deuces. I thought maybe it could be pocket flush draw or an ace. It doesn't feel like he's going to be floating with king queen. He really knew what he was doing and he was talking. It didn't look like he was thinking about anything. So already I've got him on a very narrow range. That is the most important thing you need to know. It is capped, meaning he can't have a super strong hand.
Turn card. King of diamonds, so Snuffer with 100% next to his hand.
Now we see the turn king, and I guarantee most of you watching this would give up. And now I know that this is a situation that it looks like it's really hard to bluff. If he's got an ace, imagine he's got ace 7, ace 8, ace 9. He now chops with ace queen. He's drawn against ace queen. Now this is where I would utilize something, which is the pressure of the WSOP main event. I wouldn't make this play in other situations where people care a lot less. But this man, we're on day 5 of a 7-day tournament with millions of dollars up top. Now, he is not going through 4.5 days of poker just to lose on a hand that's, you know, like ace jack, ace 10 in this kind of situation. Sometimes people will make a stand, especially against somebody dressed like that. But in general, people try to be a little bit more sensible.
He checks again.
I guess we're just chopping a lot.
I guess we're just chopping a lot. Charlie with a clinic in creative and deceptive speech play.
So here I'm saying I guess we're just chopping a lot. I'm getting it in his mind. I'm priming him already. I also did this against Leon Sukanik. If you want to watch that video, it's a crazy hand. Probably the best hand I've ever played, if I can pat myself on the shoulder for that one. And what I'm doing is I'm already placing it in his mind that we could be chopping.
Charlie Carrel trying to find a way to win this pot.
So I'm just counting his stack here, and it looks like Mr. Snuffer himself has probably around 700k, if I'm getting that right. And what I'm saying here is, hey, if you want to continue, your whole stack is at risk. Now, he doesn't know this, but that ain't true. I would have given up on the river, because if he hero calls the turn, he's gonna hero call the river for the extra 300k. And this is a really powerful trick you can use in poker. People love to hero call rivers. They hate to hero call turns. They love to rip the band-aid off. And if you hero call a river, it's over. You're done. But if you hero call a turn, you have to then hero call the river again, and people hate that. So often, a really good line to take as a bluff against weaker players: bet small on the flop, bet big on the turn, and give up the river. It depends on the situation, it depends on the board, but this is one of those examples.
Like that.
A7, ace queen, same thing.
Snuffer's got the best hand. Carrel's got the best tack.
So I'm still talking and still guessing what his hand might be. Something I learned from D-Nakes himself, the GOAT, is sometimes when you guess the opponent's hand and still bet into them, they often think, okay, he knows what I have, and they fold. It's like a psychological thing that I watched Daniel Negreanu do when I was sitting in my diapers, basically.
How much are you playing? Check it down on the river.
So I'm saying check it down on the river here. Obviously, I'm being kind of... It makes it look like I'm definitely going to be shoving the river. That's what I wanted him to think, and I think that is exactly what he started thinking.
Charlie here, a cross between Jamie Gold and Will Kassouf.
What are you babbling about over there? Jamie Gold.
I just want to check it down on the river.
Oh, the beautiful.
Check it down on the river.
So in these kind of circumstances, again, like I already showed in the hand versus Leon Sukanik, the most important thing is that you say something. It really often doesn't matter what you say. There's fine-tuned nuances to exactly the precise words that you want to say to get in someone's head and make them do what you want. But really the most important thing is the act confidence, you're smooth in your body language, you're open, and that you just say something. So when you're using a speech play in live poker, don't worry about the exact words you're saying. It could be absolute gobbledygook. I've tried it so many times where I'll just go all in on the river against a recreational player or a pro, and I'll just be like, yes, he didn't snap call me with quads, in a situation where I know they don't have quads. But it just doesn't matter, because they're like, oh, that guy's so confident. I don't want to be the stupid guy that's going to call him off. And I've done this so many times, and only a few have been caught on camera. But trust me, I've got a large database. This is so powerful. And if you're not doing it just because you're scared of how you're going to be perceived by the rest of the world or the table or whatever it is, you're just not going to cut it if you want to be the best version of yourself that you can be.
You got the new, what's his name? Will
Kassouf, don't.
No, I'm just kidding. Yours is definitely, your table talk is definitely in a friendly demeanor.
Thank you. Exactly what I was going for. Friendly player.
Ah, okay.
What a quandary.
Cloak.
Charlie calls a clock.
Sorry, I don't usually call the clock, but I feel like
That's no problem.
So I'm actually in two minds about this. I called the clock here. I'm sure it's plus EV. I could see that he was trying to talk himself into a call, and I know that when you're in these tense situations, people tend towards folding when they have a limited amount of time. Now, as Norman Chad says, shout out to him, I love that man.
I wouldn't have a problem with Charlie calling the clock if he weren't talking Snuffer's ear off while he's trying to make a decision.
It's a little bit dicey because I was speaking to him. Now, ethically, I think it's completely fine within a poker game. You know, there's a little thing that you could say about trying to be a bit more of a gentleman. But I've done enough polls on Twitter to know that most of you psychopaths sitting out there would kill a random person across the world for $10,000 by just pressing a button. So I'm not going to hold myself to the highest standard when I'm playing a poker game playing for $8 million, and all I'm doing is using something that's well within my rights. That being said, if you were to do this in a private game, you'd probably get kicked out. If you were to do it in your local casino, you're not going to make any friends. It's a gray area, let's say.
Just for the turn, you know.
But he has Iverson, Cotton, Snuffer, beflummoxed.
Charlie has done his job well.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and 0.
Charlie Carrel is one of the best.
Good bet.
Thank you.
One of your guesses was right.
Yeah.
Now, what did you have? I mean, we're gonna find out. So, what'd you have?
What's it called? Pleading the fifth?
Did you have one of the hands that you asked him if he
It was
had?
ace jack.
Yeah, you got me with the ace jack read.
You guys both had the ace jack?
No, I did not.
I did.
You had ace jack? Nailed it. Ace jack. Wow.
Yeah, that was a good bet. I mean, you could call that much for a chop. If he has an ace, he may not have an ace. I don't know. He could have ace 5 for all I know.
Or ace 5 would be a full hizzy.
Yeah.
So even after he folds, let's go, he folded, it's still important to set the table presence. It's still important to keep them guessing. So much of poker is feel intimidated by you, or sometimes to underestimate you as well. As long as there's that level of deception where you're a level above your opponent, so many things in poker are gonna go your way. Beautiful people, I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this. Peace.